Good afternoon. Today is February 2nd. It's about 6:15 in the afternoon, and on my left is Councilman Brock Heath, and on my right is Councilwoman Lynn Sneed. This is a meeting of the Streets and Sidewalks Committee, and we're here to hear a recommendation from staff regarding the resolution of necessity for the Streetscape 3B project. Mr. Titterington, will you be leading? Or
thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this is the next phase of Streetscapes, which is the block east of downtown on East Main Street, in front of the police department, K's, that area. The project is included in the Capital Improvement Fund budget for 2015. In your report, you see that the estimated $575,000 cost is broken down in five parts. We have an ODOT grant, we have a transfer from the water funds and the stormwater funds, as well as capital improvement fund money, and then the final, which is what we're here for tonight, is property owner share for replacement of sidewalks as part of the area. What we are recommending or requesting is that you make a recommendation for council to pass a resolution of necessity. This is the first step in declaring the need to replace those sidewalks and providing notice to the property owners along that area that there will need to be some sidewalk replacement that could be assessed. We're estimating that the maximum amount, based on the square footage that we've measured, as well as current estimates for cubic foot of sidewalk, is approximately $64,000. And that is, again, the maximum. As we get into the project more, we'll make notifications to each of the property owners of what the maximum estimate would be. Based on that, we would go out to bid, and the work that is actually done then would be assessed to the property owner. But it would be no more in the aggregate, total all property owners, no more than $64,000. There will be a sidewalk, what we call an assessment equalization board the council will have to create that will hear any concerns from the property owners prior to assessments being made. So there will be an opportunity for each property owner to question the amounts, as well as discuss why they don't believe that they should be assessed that much. And I will say that this is the exact process. It's laid out in state law. It's the process that we followed with the North Market Street project. We are not requesting an emergency.
Okay, that was one of my questions. When was the last time we did the AEV? And I think that you're correct. Actually, who handles the mechanism for implementing that or putting that together?
We will make a recommendation to you.
Okay. Why the extra or the underestimation of the property owner share of the project? How did it go up $24,000 over our original original $40,000?
I think it was a couple of reasons. I think current estimated unit costs, as well as going out and measuring exactly how much pavement sidewalk would be involved.
The side issue, when will we be looking potentially at west from Cherry Street on the other side? Any idea out in the future?
Only that it is out in the future. We do not have it in a request to ODOT for some NVRPC money. That is something we're kind of pacing ourselves. We don't want to get over involved in those. Perhaps in the next couple of years we will get back into that program. We have to recognize that we're in the middle of phasing the road, and in the next couple, 3 years, we will have to start the phasing of West Main Street out from downtown out to the interstate.
Okay. I knew that was a side issue. Those are the only pressing items that I have. Questions from
When the property owners receive their letter, will it describe in detail what's being done? I mean, for instance, we say in here that there, in the report that came to us, that there will be some water utility improvement and stormwater utility improvement that I assume would benefit those property owners as well as the aesthetic improvements. Will they get those details in their letter?
No, they won't, because the letter is specifically focused on the sidewalk assessment. They will not be assessed for the water or the stormwater, anything like that. Nor will they be assessed for any of the decorative brick or the enhancements that are going out there. It's the straight concrete that needs to be replaced.
Okay. But will they understand that those other things, as part of this project, are being
We
done?
can certainly include that information.
I mean, that seems like if I had to get a letter telling me I was being assessed for something, that if there were other things the city were doing along with that to
We can
help my business, I would want to know that.
We can certainly do that.
Mr. Heath?
Yes, sir. Just a quick question about the board. Is that something that, how did we determine that we needed to have that? Is that coming from Ohio law?
It's part of the ORC, yes.
Okay. And I think the other question was about the increase, so you answered that. Those are both of my big questions. Thank you, Chair.
Can I get one other one?
Yes, ma'am.
If we're moving forward in this process so that you can bid it in early May, would we expect that to be completed over the summer months then, or?
That's what we anticipate. Of course, that will depend on the bids that we get.
Okay, if everything else is favorable.
That's correct. And I will say that one of the property owners is the police department on this. And so that assessment, of course, would come back to the city and we would be paying our share of that.
We'll be sure to let that property owner know how
We
they're
will.
benefiting.
We will describe the project to them as well.
The chief knows it's coming in his budget.
He will.
Any other questions from any other council persons? Mr. Sickle, anybody else in the audience? We do have a downtown property owner here. Mr. Wilson, do you have any questions, concerns?
Sure. I guess that's a little bit disappointing.
Could you come up to the microphone, please? Identify yourself. for the record.
John Wilson, 1125 Washington Road, property owner 121. I guess a little disappointing to see the 60% increase. It was last year and a half, 2 years, a fairly blighted side of town, and some business owners, some property owners took upon themselves to improve that area. And it seems like we ought to have an opportunity to encourage that instead of discouraging it by assessing fees for sidewalks. The city ought to consider whether there's something else they could do instead of making assessments to some of those properties down there.
The property owners, as we did on Market Street, if I'm not mistaken, they had an opportunity to outside bid the project or their portion. Is that correct?
No, they did not.
They did not.
However, if they had made improvements,
Yes.
then if we had to tear it out as part of the, enhancement, we could not split that off and let them do it, especially in a project like this where we're going to have some more detailed and complex work. However, if they can provide that argument, they can do so at the equalization board. And in a couple of cases, the board did
Yes.
authorize some adjustments.
Right. And there were some measurement issues that
Yes.
they were decided also.
That's correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
If I'm correct, is this assessment done, as we've talked about others in the past, that there is the bill to the property owner based on their square footage, and that can either be paid or assessed for over 5 years? Is that the period?
That's
Okay.
correct.
It's a no interest loan, basically, in essence.
Yes and no. I mean, if it goes to 5 years, then there is a percentage that the county charges to have it included in the property tax bill. Pay it all at once, there's no interest at all. I believe the percentage the county charges is 3%.
Any other questions, comments from anybody? What is your pleasure on this item? Then it's unanimous with the committee that we'll proceed as staff is recommended on this item. Any other items to come before the Streets and Sidewalks Committee?
No, sir.
Then we will stand adjourned.